in South America. He's like 13th sometimes, and he's 17th some other times. So let's see if he can beat that CEO placement here at the World Championship as we're getting into game one, and we're going to see some Sidra here. A rare occurrence here on the main broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, we are so used to Sword being so overrepresented in tournaments in the past, but this is the first time in Brawlhalla. Oh my God!
Vecinaa coming out the gate,
gone.
Making some turtle soup out of Moni. Holy cow, 16 seconds?
My mouth has just been open.
I saw him moving his hands and trying to generate words out of thin air, and he could not find a single one. Speechless. The energy, the pace that Vecinaa brings right out of the gate.
Well, that's the thing about Greatsword, though, is that no matter how down you are, you can always bring it back. That is one of the best things about this weapon. It hits so hard, you get into your opponent's head. Even if you get clapped up like that, you always have the power within you, like a true Jedi, to go ahead and bring things back. But right now, Vecinaa seems to have no plan of letting that happen. A down six. That's 2 stocks gone already in under a minute. We're just hitting the minute mark now, and Moni looking effectively lost for how to approach the Sidra right now.
Not even just like in the video game, but specifically on his player cam as well. Both hands went on his head after he lost that second stock. Hopefully he can sort of dial it back in here and take some control. Maybe not win this game, but find his way back in this set. This is just game one, so even a major loss here doesn't necessarily spell disaster for Moni.
And situations like this, when you're playing Greatsword, your first thought is, all right, I'm behind. All I have to do right now is figure out how do I land the side light. If I can fan the side light, everything else opens up from that moment. But Moni, really good at edge guarding. A great attempt there. If he was able to get that reversal N-Sig, would have been able to potentially get the stock. Tries to get the side air, beautifully timed way back to the stage there from Vecinaa. But oh man,
he's just gonna wait for it. He's just gonna wait for it. The cannonballs in case Moni goes high. He's ready for the neutral light in case Moni comes right over the stage grounded. Oh, he spot dodges at the perfect time to get through that in-light. The D-Sig, man, the cannonballs coming through. The Kraken coming through. It seems like everything is on Vecinaa's side.
Vecinaa playing the corner here. I mean, Moni pretty much has this game lost, and N-Light in the corner will be enough. You can see Vecinaa fishing for it there, but it's going to be really hard to come back from this position. The downlight Nair is going to be the string that brings Moni back to this in a final stock situation, but it's hard to play Greatsword perfect from here, right? Yeah. You have to get basically 2 dodge reads from this position is enough to win on this stage, but you're not allowed to guess wrong.
Yeah, and you can't be stacked at all because a neutral light's coming out. If they're in front of you, it's going to be a neutral light.
Absolutely good.
Absolutely.
You know, it took him a little bit to figure that one out. We're just playing from a little bit too much of a deficit, but going into this game number 2, as long as he's able to get a weapon, I think he's able to cook up. I mean, granted, we always say these flat stages, these are some of the best stages you can go to as a Greatsword player. All you have to do is play the game of catch the landing. You catch the landing, you're golden. So now that Moni has been armed, equipped with the correct weapon here, I think he got it, right? And he's going for these 3 hit strings immediately to already try to condition Vecinaa into being like, all right, now he thinks I'm going to do it, and now he can start fishing for the dodge read. Right there he went for it, just didn't guess right. But Moni in a great spot here. I'm going to make a call right now and say he's going to be the one to get the first stock in this game too.
He's doing a great job with these 2 pieces, and then he's backing up in case Vecinaa wants to come forward rather than committing to something and getting punished by Vecinaa. Ooh, even goes with a finisher right there with the gravity cancel.
And at this point, nice
staying away.
We can be patient here. We can even downsig the lip. Oh, gets caught by the recovery, and you can tell that Vecinaa's kind of spacing for it too. One more side air in the corner if you can get it. Look at the stock. Sometimes you can side air that, oh no, he gets caught, so my call is wrong, but you can tell Moni has this problem where he wants the knockout so bad. We've seen it time and time again, where I think he makes the aggression a little bit too obvious, and then he gets reversaled in kind of these tragic ways, but still keeping up with Vecinaa much better this time around. You can throw out that down tick if you want. No, tries to go for the reverse recovery, but Vecinaa doesn't bite.
Yeah, going for the recovery means if he misses it, like worst case scenario is he's pretty much on the main platform rather than going for the signature he went for previously on the left side and then being stuck there on the edge without a dodge.
Okay, Vecinaa gets hit by the side light, does a delayed spot dodge. Moni not ready for that. Trying to go for the recovery there as well. Beautiful string, the spot dodge again. That's twice now Vecinaa has done that. It means Moni's gonna have to hit him and then do a delayed bridge to go ahead and catch that.
It's tough that in-light, that defensive in-light from Vecinaa can just shut so many things down, so many follow-ups from Moni. Because like he's getting the 2-piece and then all of a sudden he wants to press forward and he's stacked with Vecinaa. Great wall above his head with that cannon toss. The neutral air forcing Moni over to the backside. Throws the weapon away, but he doesn't make a contact, so it's gone. He's still disarmed here, going into the edge guard. But it just, oh, okay, I thought he was going to grab the cannon too. That would have been so sick.
I was like, I couldn't tell if that weapon throw was still active or not. I thought Moni might have an unfortunate end there, but is still fighting. And you know that wake up is coming because the weapon spawn is right there, right? That's why Vecinaa does it instantly. He says, I don't want you to get this weapon. Moni had to wait for the next layer, scout that out, hit him, then grab the weapon. But either way, still keeping things close. The D-Light recovery is not enough. Down sig, nope, tries to go for an end-light. End-light in the corner will be enough, even from center on a stage like this will work, but the end-sig even better. Catching that dodge in place from Vecinaa. We're keeping things close here.
Yeah, he's definitely so much more dialed this game, even though he went on a final before Vecinaa did.
Nice.
Oh, beautiful, yep. There's a 3-piece follow-up after the 2-piece getting the dodge.
Another? Doesn't go for the turnaround side there, but still has so much damage. I mean, you get one good read, and that's going to be the stock. You can see the delayed dodge there from Vecinaa, waiting for the bridge to come out before deciding to dodge, because he didn't want to lose his stock to a finisher.
There's been more than a handful of times that you know Vecinaa's going to be aerial after that string goes in, and he's going to back up. Plenty of safety room. Great timing from Moni. Catches him in the air. He knows Vecinaa's floating around. We just called it out.
To play a little bit lower to the ground, which is scary against Greatsword in those high damage ranges. But otherwise, you know, you did have the axe there, and Vecinaa needs to remember that sometimes you can get caught in these patterns where you're so used to fighting one weapon that when somebody swaps over to the other one, even though the threat zone isn't necessarily as scary, you still are kind of locked in to that conditioning from playing the other weapons. So
and that's what's so sick about that adaptation is like, okay, Vecinaa wants to be in the air. Moni recognizes that. He's going to punish that. So what does that do? You just nailed it. That forces him back down to the ground. So you get the hit, you secure the game with that gameplay, and then you force him to play your game along the ground. He is so looking so confident here. I'm loving this swap over to this real, like the velocity that Moni is bringing to the table here. He feels completely different than game one.
Yeah, I mean, this time it's going to be the first time in the set that we have some platforms for Vecinaa to play around with here to try to not get caught by the Greatsword on landing as often, but this could be the first stock. Money doesn't have a whole lot, and that might be it. Yes, it is the D-Light ground pound. He got caught by that side air after expending, I think, maybe like 2 jumps, or maybe it was a jump and a recovery, so it made that second recovery back to stage extremely. What a dodge.
Nice. Holy cow, the timing on that. He doesn't grab the second one, but luckily he's low damage, so he's not going to want to take that hit, but it's not going to lead to the stock loss. But I love that low recovery from Moni, and then Vecinaa was just ready there to match him. He was ready to match that energy and deal it back and get that stock after. Oh, if only he found that second hit.
Right, the good patience here.
Yeah, he waited for that cannon toss above Vecinaa's head. He knew that was coming.
And that's why it's nice to have a move like that with high active frames that covers both sides. I mean, we see Balloon Boy do the same thing with that Mega Man down sig, and it's going to be the exact same for Samugi. Yeah, goes way low,
Yeah, he knew exactly where that was going to end, so he could put himself in the perfect spot to be completely safe and find the punish.
I'm going to need Moni to just start. He keeps covering dodge in. Vecinaa is dodging out on these side light setups every time. I'm just going to need Moni to just once dash up forward, end light. You got him, bro. I've seen that like 5 times already. It's tilting. I'm like, you can do it. Let's see. Coming back in. Oh, that was a very heavy commitment. Has no dodge.
Oh, the bounce off the wall. That's going to be it. And Vecinaa makes sure to stay away from Moni, who was basically off screen that entire time towards the end after that hit, spiking off the wall. But again, these anchors, we saw Vecinaa hit that early on in game one that gave him a lot of the momentum that he kept riding to get that victory in game one. Yep, he's staying away from all these like traps that Vecinaa was laying before.
Oh, there we go. The recovery's not enough. The ceiling too high. Is going to need one more. But at this point, if you really want to as a Greatsword player, you can play around this recovery, just jumping around, going for recovery, and then you have enough drift on it that even if you don't hit, you can get out of harm's way, and that's exactly what Moni does to go ahead and scout out that retaliatory option and then punish it with that side air expertly played.
He's going to have weapon control. Next weapon spawn coming in. He's going to hold on to his Greatsword. Out comes the cannon for Vecinaa. 2 stack for the neutral light to hit. And we see the D-Sig coming out right after that.
And good drift with that D-Sig as well to kind of drift backwards into Vecinaa. And I love that Moni has changed his game plan. Instead of playing way too grounded, now we're seeing a lot more jumps, a lot more jump down airs, jump side airs, recoveries. And then now that we're getting toward that KO zone, 1 dodge read here from Moni, and that will be the game.
May not even have that option. Like, he may not even need it if he keeps Vecinaa over in the corner. He's just getting him hit by hit. Oh, what a complete read. He ran in, turned around, and hit that side sig as Vecinaa came over that corner, went back to the center stage. Tried to go for it again, didn't get punished afterwards, though.
Careful.
There's the in-light.
You still have to be scared here because that Sidra down sig is a huge threat in the corner, and that's exactly what we see.
He's so ready for it. The adaptation from Moni again.
Offense to some degree from Vecinaa there. I just don't think the damage range is quite enough to fish for that setup. But despite that, you know, we're going the distance here. I mean, Moni definitely bringing things back. Took a game to adapt to Vecinaa in that game too. And now, potentially on the verge of going 3-1 in this set, playing some Axe here as well. What a well-timed dodge from Vecinaa and getting pieced up by this Axe. He hasn't played against this Axe much at all. I think Moni's doing this to kind of, you know, change things up a bit. Can't allow him to get too used to what my game plan is. I've been practicing my Axe a bunch, and look, it's playing out at this exact moment.
Yeah, Moni didn't find a single bit of damage, not even one damage last game on Axe. It was all on the Greatsword. He's going to swap back over to it, though, after a great opening with his Axe. There's the 2PC win for the turnaround.
And you can see there, right, an immediate wake up from Vecinaa. Had Moni just gone for the 3-hit string there, would have been the stock on from Vecinaa, but Moni represented that in the first 2 games, and it never worked. So you love seeing the adaptation, but now we're also seeing something that Moni didn't rip out until the end of the last game, which are those side sigs on a Moogie, right? I mean, fantastic signature, but you play a little bit more honest, you revolve around the base kit, and then once it comes time, all right, I'm trying to close out the set, you bring out the cheeky other options you weren't using earlier.
Yeah, and think about how he was using the side sig last game. He was going towards the corner, turning it around towards the center. This time what we just saw was side light into the side sig. He's going to catch a spot dodge with that, he's going to catch a dodge away, he's going to catch a jump away as well. So he's really finding options and ways to innovate and just change things up with the way he's using that side signature to keep Vecinaa on his toes. It's working well so far. He has a great lead going in with the Axe, a much more Axe-heavy game than the previous ones. Happens to in-light the wrong way, maybe expected a dodge through, or it might have been a misinput.
Nice.
Goes with the recovery over the corner, and he reverses it.
Nice.
And he's ready again, and the weapon toss. Moni's still going in the side air as well. He's going to lose that stock, but he has one to play with, and he gets the stock off of Vecinaa.
I love the aggression there from Moni, recognizing like, hey, even goes for that recovery initially to say, if I can spike you off the bottom of the stage, I can have a huge play, but the swing, a huge one-stock swing from Moni here has all but solidified himself a little bit further in this bracket. Vecinaa looking at death's door here, needs to fight back from the brink. Oh, that sidelight could have been huge for Vecinaa to make the turnaround happen.
Now my question is, does Vecinaa want to swap over to the sword, or is he sticking with the cannon? He played most of last game on the sword, only 69 damage on the cannon. There is a weapon spawn on the field, but he might be afraid. Okay, the cannon toss comes out, he picks up the sword, he gets up and away right over Moni's head, so no side sig options coming out here.
Okay, almost gets it this time around, just a little bit off with the execution, but Moni is showing me that he is paying a lot of attention to the dodge read from Vecinaa here. Another side light could be a problem. I love whipping the side light, immediately going into the bridge, getting Vecinaa with the timing, thinking, oh, he whipped, he's gonna move and try to run away, but keeping the aggression going. That's one of the things that Greatsword is so good at doing, is baiting people by thinking, oh, I'm not gonna swing. Psych, yes I am again.
Also his option there, he went for the D-light to sort of move himself forward and drag the Greatsword along the ground, rather than going for that neutral light, which wouldn't have given him a hit there.
Let's see, what's the answer gonna be? Vecinaa effectively, at this point, pretty much out the game. It's really hard to come back.
Nice.
Wake up, down finisher, and then are we gonna tuck him into bed? Looks like the answer might be yes. One more